Here we are, everybody. We're about to go racing here for the opening round of season 16 here for the Red Arrows Formula 1 League, as we've got just the 14 drivers on tonight. A bit of a depleted field here for the opening round of the season. I think so soon after the new year, it's you often find these situations do occur, but nonetheless, I'm sure we're going to have some exciting racing here tonight with plenty of very clean and talented drivers out on the track here tonight. Here we go then. The lights are on at the head of the grid for the start of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and season 16 here at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League, and it just lights out and away we go. And it looks like Formula C got a very good start there. Shane there, not so great, has got ZX10 looking to the outside here to turn one, a little bit too far away. We've got Cucumber trying to make the move here on Onzi, but looking like Onzi a bit wide there, and Cucumber manages to get that position. ZX10 having a look here on Shane, but too far away there as they go into the next sequence of corners. Corey's got ahead of Youngie up into P6. Looks like Murph has also got ahead of Jay-Z up into 10th place. Honey Badger has picked off Ernie, and Andrew Pittsman's also got through as well here. So Honey Badger up a place. You can see Ernie here has had a bit of a nightmare of a start, down to 14th place here in these first few corners of this opening lap of the race. But Formula C has the gap at almost a second here over Shane at this moment in time, and there they all are filing through your shot at the moment. We can see there we've got Jay-Z almost running into the back of Nobby Bootneck as he now loses out as a result to Honey Badger, to Murph and Honey Badger. Was it actually Murphy was almost running to the back of? It was somebody in that pack, but ultimately he gets away with it as there's Ernie there getting well out of shape there, going through the blind chicane, and well, he's had a bit of a nightmare of an opening few corners as Ernie, to be perfectly honest with you. But I suppose it can only get better from here. Formula C's got the gap at over a second now over Shane, so he's now settling into a bit of a river there at the moment. Is the Williams driver, but we got ZX10 who's got some heavy pressure here from the champion from 2 seasons ago, Cucumber, making his return to the Red Arrows Formula 1 League here for this season, currently poised to try and do something here on the back of the Mercedes with DRS. He's going to make the move, and it's going to be an easy move here for the Cucumber, and down the inside he's going to go. In fact, no, he's not going to have DRS. It's the opening lap, so he's not going to make a move there. It actually stays behind him. Nobby Bootneck there making a move on Youngie, though, having no such trouble. Honey Badger there swooping around the outside, in fact up the inside, sorry, around the outside of the next corner, should I say, and Honey Badger there getting the move done up into 9th place. Beautifully done there from Honey Badger, and is picking his way off through this pack like a hot knife through butter at the moment. But for the time being, Formula C and Shane, less than a second separating them. Shane's brought himself back into that fight a little bit after dropping back towards the end of the first lap. He's now got himself way back in contention once again here. There's Cucumber still keeping ZX10 on his toes at the moment. Onzi right there with these guys, as well as Ricori at this point. And they've gapped Glenn by a little bit here, who's running out of that 1 second range to them in 7th place, with Nobby Bootneck, Honey Badger and Murph in hot pursuit. Honey Badger also looking pretty racy here. He's going to be looking to try and clear this pack of cars as soon as he can here. Seems to have pace over these mid-pack drivers. You can clearly see that he's made light work of the guys in front of him so far here in this one. But Formula C out the front has got a slender lead right now over Shane. Shane's still keeping him on his toes for the time being. Formula C with a bit of DRS here to get him that little, Shane, that bit of DRS to get him a little bit closer here. Cucumber's got ahead of ZX10 up into P3 as we see Cucumber actually going a bit wide there and loses a position straight away after gaining it. He now gets a bit more DRS down the straight. Thing is though, they've got Onzi coming for them here, and Onzi looks to the inside here of ZX10 and makes that move up into 4th place, and that is job done there for the Alpine. In the background we've got Nobby Bootneck there making a move on Glenn as well up into 7th place. Glenn manages to stay ahead of Honey Badger for the time being, but how long is he going to be able to do that, because Honey Badger has been on the warpath here in the opening few laps of the race. Shane though with the lead of the race ahead of Formula C at the moment, so he's managed to get the lead here as Shane, and he's currently showing them how it's done at the moment with a slender lead over Formula C. Formula C, they're keeping him on his toes at the moment. Cucumber now in 3rd place. Is he going to be able to try and gain on these two whilst they're battling? Because Cucumber, we know he's got good race pace in general, but what sort of pace has he got tonight at Jeddah that he's going to be able to potentially produce out on the track here? It could be a big season for Cucumber, obviously champion of 2 seasons ago, but looking to try and regain his crown, which Brad Races won last year. I'm not quite sure if we're expecting Brad Races to be racing this season. It could be a case of reigning champions here at Red Arrows regularly choosing to sit it out when they're the defending champion. But Corey nonetheless is closing up on the back of ZX10 without DRS on Onzi, which is helping him to make that move. Corey now looking to the outside in the meantime. Formula C's taken the lead of the race, but Corey looking to try and go around the outside. ZX10 diving back up the inside, but Corey's now going to get the DRS down the main straight, and this is surely going to be a formality here for the V-Carb driver, as here he goes, looks to the outside now. And he's going to make this move here into turn 1. Corey up into P5. Honey Badger has now got ahead of not just Clem, but also Nobby Bootneck as well. So Honey Badger now into 7th place and continuing to make some very, very impressive gains here in the opening few laps of the race. Whilst we were watching all that going on in the middle of the pack, Formula C did overtake Shane for the lead of the race once again. So these two continuing to battle it out here. We've got Cucumber doing the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap as well, which means that he's now going to be coming for these top two over the course of this first stint. You'd think if you try to put that pressure on, if he possibly can. Onzi's still keeping to the back of Cucumber, though. I'll tell you what, this could be a case of these two chasing after the top two, and we could be in for a 4-horse race here at the front of this race. But for the time being, Formula C has this gap to Shane at about 0.6 of a second. Shane still keeping the pressure on. Obviously, with so many DRS zones around this track, it really does help you to stay in contention. You could be slower than a car in front, but because of how many DRS zones there are, it's similar to Albert Park, you just continue to be able to put the pressure on. It keeps throwing you lifelines, this DRS around this track. You often see lead change after lead change, but Shane looked to the outside here into the final corner. Now, did he stay behind for the DRS? If he did, then he'll get another dose of the rear wing here down the main straight. He needs to get that slipstream. He needs to maximise his speed here down the main straight. Here he comes then. So Shane's going to get another bite of it. Formula Cedo's got great straight line speed, and in fact, did Shane have the DRS down the straight? He might not have done, you know. There's Onzi there making a move on Cucumber into turn 1, and has got that third place back. So Onzi's not giving up in this one. Also, Honey Badger has now got ahead of ZX10 up into P6. So now Honey Badger can try and chase down the leaders. He's had an absolutely storming first few laps of this race as Honey Badger. We see Jay-Z has got back ahead of Andrew Pittsmith here up into P10. Andrew Pittsmith, though, trying to come from what was the back of the pack on the opening lap. We've got Youngie, who's retired from the race. I just saw he was in the pits there. I don't know if he's had an incident with somebody, but Youngie out of the race here on lap 5. Seemingly a retirement in the pit box, because there's no issues there, I don't think, in terms of on the track. No debris or reason for any hold up or safety cars, so it looks like we've got away lightly with that one. But here's Cucumber on the back of Onzi at the moment as he's looking to try and pile the pressure on here in this battle for third place. Oh, he's got Cucumber a bit of a slide there. That would have lost him a bit of momentum. That'll make it almost impossible for him to get a good run in order to be able to make a move here on Onzi into turn 1. Onzi's got a good enough gap at the moment to hold on to that one. These guys are about 3.5, 4 seconds off of the leader, Formula C, who's now starting to get into a bit of a rhythm here now, starting to extend the gap over Shane ever so slightly. See Murph there going a bit wider, and he might be able to capitalise on this. He'll be fancying a P12 here as soon as he possibly can. But they're in a bit of a train of cars here, led by Andrew Pittsmith at the moment. These guys battling over P10. But Murph did well on that curb, going through the S's in Sector 1, because it's treacherous getting onto that curb on the left-hand side as you go through that section. Many a driver on the F1 games over the years will know just how much of a nightmare that is. Jay-Z still a bit too far away to really put Andrew Pittsmith under any significant pressure at this point. Hurney here all over the back of Murph now in this fight for P12. Murph has lost the rear end of Jay-Z. As here we go, Ernie there making the move relatively routinely there for him. As Corey's got back at Honey Badger, but Honey Badger's not giving up yet, as he's looking all over the back of him here. Honey Badger now to the outside, and it's going to make the move up into P5, and he has done that one. Honey Badger continues his recovery drive after qualifying down the back of the pack, as we see ZX10 there pushing W Bootneck wide onto the runoff area. Is he giving the position back here? Or I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but Ernie's got a 3-second penalty in the meantime, and in fact ZX10 are very sportsmanlike there. Does give the position back, but it gives them both, or rather loses them both, the position to Glenn there. So Glenn up into P7 as a result of that. And he'll say thank you very much, boys. Very much appreciated indeed, as we see ZX10 now has got a 3-second penalty for track limits as well. So they're being handed out left, right and centre right now from the Saudi Arabian stewards. As we know, repercussions for very, well, not the most serious of crimes. Do tend to be somewhat, well, they like to throw the book at you, these Saudi Arabian stewards, clearly. But anyway, Formula C has the gap at almost 2 seconds over Shane at the moment. And we've got Cucumber here, just ahead of Onzi for the time being. The gap just under a second between these two. As Onzi here getting a little bit closer here to the back of Cucumber. Into the final corner we go. But still just a little bit too far away. We've got Corey here, who's made the move on to Honey Badger now. So Honey Badger's lost the position. Corey up into P5. We've got Formula C into the pits here at the end of lap 7. As Onzi there looking to the inside of Cucumber into turn 1, but just too far away to really be any significant threat at the moment. Shane's continuing to pump in the laps out the front. 3 seconds he's got over the Cucumber at the moment. Formula C now back out on the track, so he's come out in a bit of traffic here. I tell you what, this could be quite debilitating for him. He's got the likes of Andrew Pittsmith, ZX10 and Ernie and Jay-Z right in front of him, so Formula C could be in a bit of a hole here. Murph's coming out of the pits now on some fresh hard tyres, like Formula C is. I reckon it'd probably be a one stop. I reckon at 18 laps on the hard tyres seems pretty feasible to me. So Formula C going for the undercut, but obviously he's got a lot of cars to try and clear here. He's managed to clear one of them now in the shape of Jay-Z. Now he's got Andrew, ZX10 and Ernie to try and get past here. He's also got Glenn and Nobby Bootneck in front of him, so these guys have been closing in on those whilst we've been focusing on other things. Here we go then. Formula C has now got a chance, got a bit of a run here on Ernie. And is he going to have that one done? He is going to have that one done. Formula C there up into 10th place for the time being. Now he's got ZX10 right in front of him as well. As soon as you pass one car, you've got another one that you've got to negotiate. That's the nature of having faster tyres, but you have to make them work, because otherwise your opponents are going to punish you. Those guys you're trying to get the undercut on will make the most of it. Shane for the time being looks like he's staying out on the track, isn't coming into the pits, isn't trying to immediately cover off Formula C, as we see Glenn peeling off into the pits here. And Formula C there looking to the outside here into turn 1, still just a little bit too far away there on Andrew Pittsmith for the time being, and Andrew's going to hold on for that one for now. And Formula C has now got ahead of Andrew up into P7. Oh my goodness, as Formula C there cut the chicane. So I think that it was just a case of, I'll take the warning, but he needs to be careful, because he's still yet to get a penalty here. But that would have definitely been one of his tokens used up. You get 2 free tokens, and then the third one is comes to you in the shape of a 3-second penalty. But until you use that third token up, they're essentially free passes to cheat as much as you like. So, well, obviously within reason. Obviously, if you straight line the chicane, you'll get a 10-second penalty. But you know, anyway, Formula C's got ahead of Nobby Bootneck up into P6. Corey's got ahead of Honey Badger now up into 4th as well. So he's done pretty well there as Corey to get ahead of the Alpine driver. But I'll tell you what, Honey Badger's not giving up on this one yet. Here they come into the final corner as he dives on the inside there. There's Honey Badger, and Corey there keeps it around the outside as he looks like Honey Badger's managed to just get ahead here. He's coming into the pits though, so it doesn't really matter. And Corey there continues on his merry way for the time being. But Honey Badger there was trying to go side by side with him there as Formula C is now into P5. We've got ZX10er and Andrew Pitsman here side by side as ZX10 is trying to make the move there up the inside. Both of these two on 9-lap old medium tyres. They're still keeping it going though. Still doing a good job at the moment as they're still going to be battling it out. But ZX10er has that move done there up into 6th place. Obviously pit stops pending. They might be further down by the time it all plays out with the pit stops. Nobby and Ernie now coming out of the pits at 12th and 13th places respectively for the time being. Shane still leading the gap 3 seconds at the moment over Cucumber. Cucumber's kept the gap pretty consistent since being in clean air. He's got the gap over a second to Onzi. Cucumber potentially not out of this battle for the win here. Only 3 seconds behind Shane. Shane's in the battle for the win. We know that obviously Formula C will be way ahead of these guys once they pit. But if there's a safety car, then Shane and Cucumber could be in a good position. And also, not just that, but if they're going to have fresher tyres than Formula C for this final stint as well, which is going to put them in a good position in the final few laps of the race when Formula C's tyres are going to be absolutely battered. But Shane here for the time being still leading the race by 3 seconds over the former champion here at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. Here there is Shane, there is Cucumber, and there is Onzi. As Onzi's now coming into the pits, so says, I'm fed up of waiting for a safety car, I'm bringing it into the pits now. As we've got Corey into the pits as well as no, ZX10 is staying out. So he's going for an 11th lap on the medium tyres. Andrew's now in. So that now leaves just the 3 drivers on the track who started on the medium tyres. That's Shane, Cucumber and ZX10er. So we've got Onzi, Corey and Andrew Pittsmith all in. So exciting stuff here from all of these guys, but Shane has the gap still at just under 4 seconds over Cucumber at the moment. Cucumber is trying his hardest here to keep the gap, but it looks like Shane has gained a little bit over the course of this lap. So yeah, Cucumber, well, maybe his tyre's starting to give way. Shane has looked after his brilliantly by the looks of it. But Cucumber starts gaining a little bit through this part of the track, so he's still keeping Shane on his toes here. But I think Cucumber might have made a mistake at the beginning of this lap, because the gap did go up significantly in the first sector, possibly that curb through the S's. Shane's now coming into the pits. Now what does Cucumber do? Does he follow suit? He does. So Shane... oh dear, I don't like that delay. That was a bit dodgy. Could be a new one. Anyway... so Cucumber still did a good job here on these fresh tyres, and Shane still kept the gap at around the same to Cucumber here, about 3 seconds. So Cucumber's gained a little bit over the pit stops. Formula C 4-lap older tyres, currently 10 seconds ahead of Shane, 14 seconds ahead of Cucumber. So at the moment Formula C's got the gap, but obviously the tyres are going to be in much better shape for these two here. Onzi's managed to get a bit of an undercut here on Cucumber, is much closer than he was before, and has got a bit of DRS here to try and cling himself to the back of this Sauber and potentially attempt an overtake. Now it's going to be crucial to see how quickly the gap's coming down between Formula C and Shane. It wouldn't be at all surprising to see it coming down, but it's the level at which it's coming down that's going to be crucial here. Technically, I think you lose about, well, it's about a tenth and a half a lap on the hard tyres. There's a 4-lap differential, so 6/10 a lap you'd think on paper would be about what you'd expect in terms of the time loss. That would put Shane at about a 7.5 second gain, and he's 10.5 seconds behind. So as it stands, Formula C looking pretty good here. As in the meantime, Corey's moved ahead of Jay-Z up onto P6. It's going to be an interesting second half of the race here at Jeddah tonight. No safety cars so far. On a track like this, you've got to commend the drivers here. They're keeping it out of the barriers, keeping it pointing in the right direction and not... oh, it's Onzi there as we're watching on board with him. We saw that one happening. I was about to say that was a bit of track limits and in fact it was his third token. And as we've said before, the third token is the point at which the stewards say, no, you've had enough warnings. We've told you what will happen. And it's happened. But Clen here moving up into 7th place out of Jay-Z. As they're going through the middle sector of the lap here. So he's done nicely there as Clen to get it ahead. Although on 8 lap fresher tyres, you feel that one probably a formality. Nobby Bootneck here on the back of Murph, 2 lap fresher tyres. It's not going to make the world of difference, but it's certainly going to make a difference. And Nobby Bootneck there, blasting past with the DRS up into P10. Now can Andrew Pittsmith knock Murph while he's down here? He's got 3 lap fresher tyres here, then the Haas. Murph is still sticking to the back here of Nobby Bootneck here as they come down towards the final corner. And will surely fancy an immediate return here. Murph is going to have a chance. Oh, as Andrew taps Murph in the rear there. Murph's now going to have a run on Nobby, who just overtook him a few moments ago. And Murph will be looking for the immediate reply here to get back into 10th place. Here he comes then with DRS. Looks to the inside, a little bit too far back still. And Murph for the time being stays put in 11th place. Formula C in the meantime has still got the gap just under 10 seconds here over Shane. So Shane is gaining, but not, I don't think, by enough to really give Formula C enough of a headache here in the final few laps of the race. He'd need to be gaining about a second a lap, and he's not gaining that at this moment in time. But it could be interesting. It could ramp up here. Ernie's moved ahead of Jay-Z now, up into 8th place. That's an interesting one there. As we continue to see Onzi getting closer and closer to the back of Cucumber here with a bit of DRS. Now looks to the outside here, down towards the final corner. And Onzi there moves up into 3rd place. Cucumber could do nothing about that. Now Honey Badger waiting in the wings behind these guys as well. Here comes Cucumber with a bit of DRS once again here now down towards turn 1. Now is he going to have a chance here? He's going to look to go around the outside here. Is Cucumber. Onzi there holds the inside line. Onzi's got a penalty here, which is going to be frustrating for Cucumber because he'll feel like he'd be able to make better use of the opportunity, but obviously track position is key around a track like this. I was saying that with DRS. Overtaking is not impossible. Jay-Z into the pits here at the end of lap 14. Formula C's got the gap at, well, do you know what? Shane is gaining quite a bit now. He really is starting to bring that gap down sufficiently. Obviously 4 lap fresher tyres, the gap 8.5 seconds pretty much now. So Shane is starting to fly along pretty nicely here now. Has he got enough time? Has he got enough laps left in this race to really put Formula C under pressure here? It's going to be fascinating to see how this race ends. But at the moment, Shane is definitely giving Formula C something to worry about here. And this could be an absolutely fascinating end to this race here. Formula C coming over the line to start lap 16 of the race. 10 laps left to go here. Now what's the gap as they come over the line? It's down to pretty much 8 seconds here. So this is going to be nip and tuck. 8.2 as Shane crossed the line. He needs, well, if he gains 0.8 a lap, then he'll have DRS on the final lap of the race. Cucumber's got back ahead of Onzi, back up into 3rd place. Cucumber still waiting in the wings behind these guys in this fight for the podium places. Obviously Onzi with the penalty, so Honey Badger only needs to get ahead of Cucumber, but Cucumber is now 2 cars ahead of him, which is just going to make it that little bit more difficult than it would have been. Gap at the front at just under 8 seconds. Let's keep a close eye on this, because if the gap is under 7.4 when they cross the line, that'll mean that Shane is gaining enough. So if he's gaining 8/10 a lap, he'd be on course to have DRS on the final lap of the race. Let's have a close look here. So Shane on this particular lap only gained, we gained about half a second. In fact, Formula C's in the pits. So Formula C does not rate his chances of getting these hard tyres to the end. Well, this has completely changed it. My goodness me, I did not expect Formula C to be coming into the pits. So where's he going to come out? He's going to come out. Oh, is he going to come out ahead of this V carb? He is just about. So Formula C there continuing in P5 on fresh tyres, but is now over 10 seconds off for the lead. So he's got a lot of work to do in the final 9 laps of the race. He's got way fresher tyres. He's going to have a lot more grip. He's probably going to have best part of a second lap over these guys, but he's 10 seconds behind with 9 laps left. I think that he's pretty much going to get, it's going to be a bit beyond him here to get this one. He could certainly get on the podium though. But I think Shane has been left in a bit of a walkover position here, to be perfectly honest with you. Unless Formula C can pull something special out of the bag here, I think that we're going to see Shane winning on debut tonight here at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. Again, not sure of his debut, because I don't know if he was racing in Tier 2 last season. He may well have been. I really should be keeping an eye on these things, being the commentator, and I will endeavour to do that. I will endeavour to do that. There's no excuse. I don't have any excuses. There's no... Yeah, no. Shut up. Anyway, so currently we've got Cucumber here on the back of Onzi as they're coming out of the final corner here over the line to complete lap 17 of the race. And here comes Cucumber here with the DRS and the slipstream, as it's now going to look to the outside here of Onzi down towards turn 1, and it's going to be, is it going to be a move here for Cucumber? I tell you what, his straight line speed's not too great here. It's been a couple of times where he's had DRS and I thought he's going to have it done, and he hasn't, as Onzi there getting a little bit twitchy there. That could allow Honey Badger to have a look, but no, not really close enough there. So Cucumber getting back ahead of Onzi for the time being. These guys a fair way behind the leader. Formula C's already pulled up onto the back of him here, so he'll be looking to try and dispatch these guys as quickly as he possibly can. He's going to be frustrated here right now. He's got 3 cars in front of him who he knows is quicker than, but he needs to try and force a move here. Formula C's now cleared one of them in the shape of Honey Badger. He now needs to clear this Sauber and this Alpine of Cucumber and Onzi if he wants to try and chase down the leader, Shane, and have any chance of winning this race here tonight, as he's now... Oh, he just gets ahead of Onzi there. There's a bit of contact there. Onzi is in a fight of his own here with Cucumber, but Formula C said, I don't care about that, and he forces his way through there up into 3rd place. Now he's got to try and get ahead of Cucumber as well, and if he can do that, he will have a straight road between himself and the race leader, Shane. But that was a hairy moment there for Formula C. Now he's going to have some DRS here on the on the Cucumber. And there he goes, blasting past the Sauber here, down towards the final corner. As you can see, Onzi here looking to try and make a nuisance of himself here in the background. We got Cucumber and Onzi now side by side, coming over the final corner. This is going to distract both of these two a little bit and possibly give Formula C a bit of a reprieve here as he looks to try and hold on here down the straight. And Cucumber's got to run. Cucumber's got to run, and Formula C here is just trying to get himself into some clean air so he can chase after the leader, but Cucumber doesn't care about that, and obviously it's going to go for track position if he possibly can here. He's maximising his race time out here tonight, as we see Nobby Butnick into the pits, Andrew Pittsmith getting up to 9th as a result of that, but Cucumber still being the thorn in the side here for the Williams of Formula C. And Formula C can't catch a break here. It's looking like this is going to hand Shane what's going to be almost a certain victory here tonight. I think at this stage he's got nearly a 10-second gap over the driver who's the only driver who's got any chance really of reeling him in, Formula C. And I think this one's race over with 6.5 laps left to go here at Jeddah. So this one all but done here tonight. So So Formula C there making his way through up into second place. Ahead of the Cucumber. You see the second and third place drivers here, Formula C and Cucumber, over the line here to start lap 20 of the race. Cucumber a little bit too far back, so Formula C's looks like he's now finally got that one, and looks a bit more safer in that second place. Now, has he got the pace to chase after Shane? I mean, he'd need an absolute stonking few laps here. If he wanted to get in DRS by the final lap, he'd need to be a second and a half a lap quicker. So Formula C's just got to absolutely charge around and hope that Shane maybe has a problem or makes a mistake. 5 lap fresher tyres. We don't know exactly how much of an effect that's going to have. But I wouldn't have thought it'd make an 8-second difference over 6 laps. Shane still out the front here with a commanding lead. Onzi still trying to fight Cucumber. Cucumber obviously without a penalty. Honey Badger knows that he needs to get ahead of Onzi and try and challenge Cucumber. He'll be a bit frustrated. He's got 2 lap older tyres than Cucumber, but he's got Onzi in between him who will drop behind him anyway on the penalties. Onzi though still trying to maximise his race time because he needs to make sure he's got over a 3-second gap to Corey so he can secure P5 here tonight. As we come into the final corner, bit of a lock up there from Cucumber. Ernie's got another 3-second penalty here. So Ernie has been falling foul of the stewards very much tonight, as we can see. Honey Badger now into the pits. But Onzi there making a move down the inside and dives up the inside brilliantly there, although Cucumber's not done. He didn't get the best of runs there out of the corner of Onzi, and now Cucumber is going to seize that back. Thank you very much, Des Cucumber, and back up into third place he goes. Honey Badger's just come into the pits and put a set of soft tyres on. I mean, I can't see that working. It's only 5 laps to go. But hey, I suppose it's worth a shot, isn't it? Could well be. I mean, he could still probably get P5 with Onzi's penalty. Who knows? Who knows? It'll be close. Anyway, gap at the front between Shane and Formula C down to 6 seconds. Formula C is gaining by about 2 seconds a lap on his 5 lap fresher hard tyres. He is absolutely flying at the moment, is Formula C. He is setting the timing boards alight. Is he taking too much out of these tyres? We'll find out in the final couple of laps of the race, but at the moment he's gaining hand over fist. Did Shane make a mistake which just allowed Formula C to have a look in here? We'll have a look at the gap as they come over the line. 5.8 seconds. So Formula C would still need to gain a huge amount in these next few laps if he's to have any chance of making this one work. But I'll tell you what, he's keeping this one open at the moment. Certainly far from over here in the battle for the win. Jay-Z's got Nobby Bootneck on the back of him. Andrew Pittsmith as well, right with these guys, this trio. Jay-Z, Nobby and Andrew battling over P10, 11 and 12. And Nobby looks like he's got a good run here. Down the start finish straight, and it's going to make this move here on the salvo, and Nobby Bootneck there up into P10. Andrew's now going to look to try and get involved if he possibly can. He makes the move there on Jay-Z now as well. Jay-Z down 2 places, Andrew up into P11, and now can try and put the pressure here on Nobby. Obviously Nobby with the penalty as well, so that will give Andrew a top 10 finish here tonight if he can get himself in that window. As Honey Badger's moved ahead of Ernie up into 7th place now as well. But Shane out the front with a comfortable lead right now over Formula C. Formula C still gaining, but is he gaining enough? I tell you what, He's gained another 1.2 seconds, but I think we're running out of laps. I don't think he's going to get there in time. It needs to gain about 2 seconds a lap to have any chance here, and he's only gained 1.2 in the previous lap, so time is running out here for Formula C, and SC absolutely aces these final 3 laps of the race. Honey Badger in the meantime is just on the fast lap of the race there from P7, is reeling in the likes of ZX10, 5 seconds behind ZX10, about 10 seconds off of Corey at the moment. Corey's 3 seconds behind Onzi with the penalty. I don't think that Honey Badger's going to be able to get beyond P6 here. He should be able to get P6. He'll be able to get within 3 seconds of ZX10. And obviously with ZX10's penalty, he'll be able to get something from this race, but I think he's throwing away 2 points there at least, as Andrew Pittsmith moved ahead of Nobby Bootneck. Nobby Bootneck there must have been walking down that straight, because, well, he's just been let back past again, so was there contact there between those two potentially? Maybe Andrew put Nobby in the wall there coming out of the chicane to start the lap. As Murph comes into the pits to put a fresh set of soft tyres on, that will probably be Honey Badger's fastest lap gone in a second. But at the moment it's Shane out the front with just under a 4-second gap over Formula C at the moment. Andrew Pittsmith here is still on the back of Nobby Bootneck as well in the fight for P10, so that one's still continuing to rage on at the moment. Formula C just over 3 seconds off of the lead at the moment, with 2 laps left here in this race. He's still gaining very quickly here on Shane, but I think I think that Shane should be alright. Oh god, don't do this, Jesus. It's always near the end of the race as well, my voice just collapses, but I don't think it's a full collapse. I think we're okay. Don't know why, I haven't had any problems, no cough or anything like that, no sore throats, just suddenly decided it doesn't want to work anymore. Andrew Pittsmith here on the back of Nobby Bootneck in this fight for P10. He's still giving it everything here to try and get into the top 10. Gap between the leaders 2.5 seconds as we're about to start the final lap of the race. Formula C maybe needed another couple of laps to have a crack here, but Shane looks like, barring any major catastrophes, it is going to be a win on debut tonight here at the Red Arrows F1 League. There is the race winner from last season and last season's runner-up in the championship, and is going to begin this season with another runners-up spot, but this time for a Grand Prix rather than the championship. Andrew Pittsmith here still on the back of Nobby Bootneck in this fight for P10. Is he going to find a way through? Or he doesn't need to. Obviously Nobby Bootneck has got this position on the track, but Andrew Pittsmith has got it on the penalties, because Nobby Bootneck there will drop down on the timing boards by the time he gets to the checkered flag. Andrew Pittsmith here is going to have a chance to make the move here down the start finish straight with a bit of DRS and a bit of slipstream. Here we go then. Andrew Pittsmith is now going to be getting closer and closer and closer down towards turn 1, but he's a bit too far back. Nobby Bootneck got a good run there out of the final corner. He's got good straight line speed as well, and is comfortably ahead there going into turn 1. Andrew Pittsmith not in any position to do anything there. In the meantime, the leaders are coming through the final few corners of this Jeddah Corniche circuit here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the Red Arrows Formula 1 League. Formula C has arrived on the back of Shane, but he's arrived too late to the party here. The gap just over a second. He's not going to have DRS down this part of the track. Not that it would be much use to him anyway at this sort of range, but Shane, well, the checkered flag's going to come in the nick of time here for Shane. Formula C, one more lap. He might have been able to put the pressure on, but Shane is going to hold on brilliantly here in his first race at Red Arrows. Up towards the line comes Shane. He started second on the grid. He wins the race though, and Formula C, the pole sitter, has to settle for P2. But these two, I tell you what, they're very evenly matched. I think we're in for a treat here this season if this race is anything to go by. These two keeping us on our toes there to the end. Cucumber over to complete the podium ahead of Onzi, who finishes in 4th place. Corey's going to come over in P5 in the end, with ZX10 over in 6th place. Honey Badger crosses the line in 7th, but comes 6th with the penalties there. So Honey Badger 6th, ZX10 over in 7th. There's Clen and Ernie are going to fight it out to the flag here, but Clen is going to hold on for 8th place here, with Ernie over in 9th. Then it's going to be Nobby Bootneck next over the line here to finish in P10. And in fact, Andrew and Ernie both jump Nobby up into 9th and 10th places. Or rather, Nobby was behind him anyway, but Andrew jumps Ernie and Nobby, sorry, up into 9th. So Andrew 9th, Ernie 10th, Nobby 11th. Jay-Z crosses the line in 12th. And Murph will be the last driver over the line there to finish this one in 13th place for the season opener here at Red Arrows. But that is that then for tonight's action here for the opening round at Saudi Arabia for the Red Arrows F1 League. It's Shane there taking the win, but Formula C chasing him home, and it really does set up an exciting season here for season 16 for Tier 1 of Red Arrows. Thanks to the drivers for watching this, and if you did enjoy, then I'm absolutely delighted that you enjoyed it, and we'll see you for the next one. We'll be back next week at the same time as always, hopefully. And yeah, cheers guys, thanks as always.